And I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down.
Tall and twisted.
I'm fucking dying, man.
I make your mouth obese like Della Reese. When I release, you lose teeth like little Steve.
Yeah. What's up, people? It's the 1-2 Kid. It's been a while, and I'm back to attack. I've been off for a little bit because I've been dealing with some situations that have been more important than this YouTube shit, especially of late. And I wanted to touch on some subjects that because I have my ear to the ground and I've been paying attention. I've been paying a lot of attention to what's popping. What up, RGM? How you doing, bro? I've been paying a lot of attention to everything that's been going on in the boxing community. And usually I start with the root. You know what I mean? But we could play with the branches. I'll play with the branches for now. Uh, you know, First off, the Fury and Ngannou thing, right? Everybody's talking about, I don't know, a lot of clickbaiting, talking about shit, talking about a subject that was a problem prior to even the fight happening. And that is, why the hell is Tyson Fury fighting Ngannou, and why the hell is a sanctioning body allowing him to fight Ngannou anyway? But why ain't this guy going for undisputed and trying to unify, and why ain't he fighting as mandatory? How about that? Can we start there? You know what I mean? And then let's talk about how he did it. And shout out to Iron Kong because he never bought into this whole guy from the very beginning anyway. Uh, he tried to tell everybody, but here it is, him trying to hype the fight. Here he is trying to hype the fight. He's saying, I only trained 4 weeks for Wilder, but I trained 8 weeks or 12 weeks for Ngannou. Then at the fight, in front of everybody, before the fight, pre-fight, on the podium, any man who was born from their dad's nutsack, like who talks like that? Any man who's born from his mother's womb can't stand in the ring with me. I want you to stand there in the middle of the ring and trade with me because your legs is gone. Is that what you're trying to say without saying it? Because you ain't got legs, you can't box this man no more. Is that what you're trying to say? Then at the end of the fight, he says, well, I didn't train. And y'all eat this shit up, man. Y'all, come on, guys. Y'all eat this shit up. Y'all eat it up. And then wonder why boxing is in the state of emergency that it is right today. And shout out to Ngannou. We look good in the fight. I like talking about what happens inside of the ring as well. Unlike other channels that can hold alive about anything but boxing and have a boxing opener on it. You know what I mean? People who don't truly love the sport. But yeah, hey, he got in there with Ngannou, and Ngannou had some decent defense. Ngannou had some decent offense. He had some good speed for his size. Hella power, hell of a chin. That could be a problem in the heavyweight division. And shout out for Ngannou because Dana White gonna have to reach in his wallet to start paying this guy. And luckily for him, even at this late stage in his life and the change in career, he still got the talent and the wherewithal and willpower and actually keeping himself open to learn new things at this stage in his life and to put on a show like that. And of course, Tyson Fury pulls it off barely, but still, that's a black eye for boxing. And I was talking about this shit some years ago when I restarted my channel. And I said, I think I had a video saying exposing the game and the answer. And that was just to get people on board to trying to save the sport. You know what I'm saying? Uh, oh, Samuel Shaw, what up, man? Long time no see, my man. Uh, but that was to try to get people to, see some of the stuff that hardcore fans have been noticing about the sport that we all been trying to get out. It been eating us up at that point. I didn't think for a second the channels and the YTBC would start exploiting that for their own benefit and tearing away at the sport for their own benefit just for boxing to go to shit. Because it's gonna give a lot of people a lot of money right now. It's gonna do all of that, but they're gonna burn it up. They're gonna burn it all up and they're gonna shit on the sport and the people ain't gonna respect the sport no more. And when the sport is gone, they're just gonna move on to another because they're not boxing fans. They're really not boxing fans. That's why you deal with meat shields. All right. Because y'all, it just gave me more time. Y'all gave me clips. I got ammo for days. I got ammo for days of how motherfuckers is shitting on this sport. You know, and people don't like talking about the subjects that I talk about. They just don't. They steer clear of it because it's an unpopular thing, and they need to be behind a race or behind a fighter or behind what a lot of people are saying. That's why I roll with who I roll with. But it's getting to the point where you're fucking up something that I enjoy. You're fucking up shit. You're just fucking it up. Like, at what point was it okay to say, nah, man, we're not going to let the mandatory fight the champion because he ain't making no money? People don't like him like that, It's like, well, boxing's a business and you have to understand. And we're just one person. And now I don't like it either, but what can we do about it? What did AB say? Shut that soft shit up. Do something, motherfucker. Don't let this shit die on you. Don't let this fucking sport die on you, man. Is you kidding me? The fuck can we do? We could get together. We could find out. We could figure out that there's a problem because that's the first thing you got to do. If you're trying to solve something, you got to figure out that there's some sort of fucking issue. And then you do something about it. You know what I mean? But first you got to realize that there's an issue. That's soft ass talking. Why you talk like that? That's why nobody sees it. Nobody likes your channel. Want you, kid? If you would just, how many times y'all heard that shit at work or whatever? If you would just go with the flow and we could get this going and man, things will work out better. Like, fuck that. This is what I enjoy. I enjoy this, and I'm not gonna let you take it from me. You know what I mean? If I like going to a park that's really fucking nice all the fucking time, and then I see people starting to fuck that up, well, I'm gonna say something. What the fuck is you doing? You know what I mean? Why you doing that? Why you tearing this shit up? You know what I mean? Don't you got something better to do? So that's how I feel about boxing. That's how I feel about boxing. And I've seen a lot of people of late. How my mic sound anyway? I ain't got my real mic. I had to take this, but this needed to be said. So I'll say it in a broken voice or whatever. The shit got to be said, man. I'm just tired of it. Oh, Tommy Temper in the building. What's going on, Tommy? Well, but this is the type of shit. I just seen Black drop something. It was funny too because I was thinking about the same thing. About Ellie Setback. If y'all didn't check that video out, go check that out. But Bill Haney's bringing up Ellie Setback. I don't need this motherfucker to tell me about some shit that I knew when you just kind of, you know what I mean? You just now become a mainstream. You don't need to tell me about this stuff. I've been exposed to this retard. You know what I'm saying? We know why this motherfucker's in boxing. We know why that dude is the way he is. We know about Ellie. We've been knowing about Ellie. Ellie's a whole punching bag. We've been beating up on this dude. We've been beating up on this dude since he came out, and the first thing he said was reporting. Don't nobody give a fuck. But it is what it is. I'm just curious to why this man goes into the whole Twitter games with Shakur and Bill Haney, that is, and plays that game, And I'm just going to come out and say it. I didn't see no hate towards Shakur till that man said that he was Spanish. Tell me I'm lying. You know, I've noticed that, and it's funny too because I had some notes written down, and Black said this shit, and I said, "Ain't that a bitch?" It's the truth. Algorithm has got a lot to do with racism. With racism, undertoned racism, you will get a good algorithm. You know, uh, chaos. You want to just start some shit, make some shit happen. Interesting for a moment, but are they talking about boxing? But it's a boxing channel. Are they talking about boxing at all? Nah, man. Nah. They're talking about boxers occasionally and then defending, meat shielding for these fighters. And they come in all races, shades, and colors. Oh, yeah. They cater to an audience, they cater to a color. Believe that. And that's how the algorithm picks up. And that's a fact. And some of these people know what they're doing and they continue to do it. And other people just don't know a goddamn thing about boxing. They don't know shit about boxing and they just talk about shit. Just report shit to report shit. They just report shit because it's a hot topic. Clickbait. Gimmicky as fuck. And I'm going to tell you right now, because I'm sub to support a lot of the YTBC because it's a community I'm a part of. But I'm going to unsub from a lot of these channels. And I've been debating on it for a while. I mean, my loyalty to these channels is done. Fuck out of here. You know, I'm not a fan of what the YTBC has become. The majority. There are still some good channels out there. I like Bruce Gas. He's gonna school you. He's gonna tell you not only gonna have footage of some shit. He's gonna sit back, relax, and share the experience with you that he experienced in it, which is something that you can't have, and he's willing to give you. I think that's an awesome thing. You got a more fiery guy, and these aren't UGC members. I'm talking about other channels as well. You know, Blood Boxing, a lot of knowledge. He's a little more fiery though. You know, good channel. You know, I don't agree with everything the other channels say, but they're consistent. They're consistent with what they're putting out. Now, I recently seen a channel say along the lines of, this is why, and I'm not even subbed anymore, which is crazy, but it pops up. I go, what's this about? I just click it. Oh my God, these guys are using Canelo's name to sell their fight. At no point did I hear Benavidez or Andrade mention Canelo. It was a reporter, the media, that brought it up, and all I heard was fuck Canelo. And we'll see after this fight, but right now I got Andrade in front of me. So how is using this dude promoting your fight? Or is that a seed to plant? Right? Is that a seed to plant to justify why he shouldn't fight the winner? Just saying. All you motherfuckers that criticize Floyd Mayweather for years about the shit that he's doing are some of the same motherfuckers that's justifying everything that Canelo's doing. All you motherfuckers that crucified Canelo justified everything that Mayweather did. You know, by moving around like that. You got sanctioned bodies that ain't even letting motherfuckers fight. You got sanctioned bodies that all of a sudden become politicians. You know what I'm saying? They running for Congress. Look, you can't fight. Hey, Bivol, you can't fight this guy. WBC. And then I'm hearing content creators saying things like, he needs to reach out to Sulaiman and clear that up so we could get the fight. But did you hear what Sulaiman said about Bivol? He said, and I quote, basically, denounce who you are, denounce where you're from, and maybe I'll let you achieve your dream of undisputed. if I feel like it. Now, you tell me that ain't personal. You tell me that ain't personal. I say go ahead and take the fight anyway. I say Bivol go in there and fight Better Bib, and the winner will be undisputed in my eyes, and I'll push it on my channel. And all the real boxing fans will push it on their channel too. You can't all of a sudden become a politician. And the only reason he's not allowing him to become this is how I feel about it. The only reason he's not allowing him to go for undisputed at 175 is because he's not allowing him to go for undisputed at 168. Because that's going to hurt his pockets and sanctioning fees. So he has to justify it and try to clarify it and make it look good by not allowing WBC to sanction the fight at 175 either, because it would expose the fact that he's protecting Canelo Alvarez in his own pockets for his own reason. So I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I'm not into that. So I just felt like some of this shit needed to be said. It needed to be said. A lot of folks is you're gonna pick who you want. They talking about Haney possibly fighting Tank. Mayweather saying, I'm running boxing. I do this, I do that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I mean, this is what boxing has been missing. Boxing has been missing guys getting up there, working their way to the top, not being blackballed, the media just trashing them because they're not mainstream. Boxing ain't mainstream anymore. So stop milking the game, because what's going to happen is you're going to over milk boxing by putting up all this bullshit and pumping all this shit out. And if you over milk a cow, they call it a downer, because the cow falls down, it ain't got nothing to live. I mean, it can't give no more. It's about to die. And then you eat that shit at McDonald's. They send the downers to McDonald's. That's going to be boxing. And then once you eat that Big Mac, boxing is going to be gone, y'all. So keep on killing it for your benefit if that's what you want to do. But don't ever call yourself a boxing fan around me. You know what I mean? And it's up to boxing fans to try to hold on to it. But I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like what I'm seeing in the community. And I thought y'all was better than that. I really did. I do some gimmicky shit every once in now and then, but I do it for a laugh. I don't do it to really go in on motherfuckers. To go in on motherfuckers that I know is doing the right thing. Because we all know that racial undertone is heavy in boxing. But it's always been heavy. Yeah, but at what time do we get better as fans and we get better as people to where we don't use it? You call yourself unbiased, but yet here you are parading one guy for doing the exact same shit that another guy did because of the color of his skin. Because you know that that's going to get you a few more views, a few more clicks, going to get you them super chats. You know what I mean? But you fucking up my sport in the process. You fucking up what I'm enjoying. Something that I like checking out. You know what I mean? And not a lot of people are going to say this, Not a lot of people going to get up here and they're going to talk about this stuff, Some do. Shout out to them. But, why you doing that, One Two Kid?
Because I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. I don't have to find a hideout place like you.
Motherfuckers. I'm not a big fan of who Devin Haney has become. I used to praise this dude for what he was doing. When motherfuckers was knocking him and calling him an email champion, they had a problem with him being gifted a WBC belt. but cheered, oh, Canelo's undisputed. Let's just throw this WBC belt in there. He didn't beat. You know, a lot of people criticize Benavidez and they could criticize Andrade. I criticize Andrade and Benavidez as well. But tell me this. What fighter in the ring beat them and took their title? I'll wait. Oh, were they gifted the title? Yeah. But did they lose their title? On a scale, because of promotion? Did they lose the title in the ring? Did they get iced and their title snatched? Or was the title snatched immediately? Benavidez wasn't even allowed to go for it again because he missed weight, which is on him. That's on him. That's on him. He lost it on the scales. Wasn't even given the opportunity. They immediately took it. Boom, give it to Canelo. Why give it to Canelo? Because Canelo is getting the money. And that is a percentage sanctioning fee of his earnings. So we got to chase the money, right? So the sanctioning bodies don't care about the Mandos. They set up the Mandos how they want, especially the WBC. And what they're doing to Bivol is bullshit. 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 This dude low-key mad that he whipped on Canelo. Now, Canelo's a great fighter. I wasn't big on the fact that he was about to fight Jermell Charlo, but I said, okay, it's not a bad fight. And how did it turn out? Now, that fucks up Bud Crawford going for 154 because it tarnishes it. Tyson Fury fighting Ngannou tarnishes Undisputed now because he kind of almost got his ass whooped by an MMA fighter. So that quick money grab winds up hurting the legacy of the sport, and all these motherfuckers is in on it. That's the funny shit to me. That's the funny shit, man. That's the shit I'm not feeling. You know? That's the funny shit. Hey, how's it going, Bruce Gas? Haplotype. I dropped the link if y'all want to go in and touch on it, but I would like to stick to subject. And if any randos come through, you know, that I didn't mention, let me explain something to y'all. If you get on here, you want to talk about the subject, that's fine. If you got something that relates to the subject, that's cool. But if you're going to try to deflect, move it, flip it around, or what have you, move around, change the channel. I don't want to talk to you right now. This ain't what I'm trying to talk about. I'm trying to get some good content creators together. I'm trying to get some good people to start focusing on this subject of boxing, you know, and the horse shit that's involved with what's been going on of late. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. But here's what I do for y'all. If anybody wants to hop on, y'all more than welcome. Pull this up. Drop it in the chat. Because I want to hear how y'all feel about it as well. And this is a shared platform. I like to share my platform with other folks so that they can voice their opinion as well. And I'm sure it's a subject that, like I said, nobody talking about. They just like, ignore it and it'll go away. I attempted that. I went out there. I said, hey, I dropped my message, and then I just see these motherfuckers capitalizing and exploiting boxing, the sport that I enjoy watching, for their own benefit. And I'm not a fan of that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh, gimmicky ass shit. And it's the channels, the reporters, and the media that's pushing this shit too. And how much time do we spend talking about things that ain't actually happening in the ring? Like right now, for instance, I gotta talk about this. I can't talk about a fight being made that I want to see. You know, how long did it take Earl Spence and Bud to happen? It happened. What happened? Them boys is disappeared, man. A lot of them Spence fans is gone, humbled. Then you got the ones holding on for dear life. He's cheating. Look at his gloves. Like, oh my God, stop it, guys. Cut the shit. Enough. Enough already. Man got whooped, schooled, you know, and was game. He was game, but he got schooled in the ring, and it happens. I ain't mad at Earl Spence. Y'all probably mad at him because y'all spend a lot of money for them seats. Y'all probably put a lot of bread on him. That's why y'all hurt. Not my problem. But I say Bibble and Better Beef should fight. After they next fight, if Better Beef pulls it off, and if Bibble pulls it off, they said they talking about maybe June of next year, June or July, after Ramadan, I believe. They're gonna try to make it happen. They're gonna try to make it happen. That's good news. And you know what? The winner of that fight, even without the WBC, I'm gonna say is undisputed champion. I will. Because if you beat the WBC champion, you are the WBC champ. That's how it works. It's that simple. And I don't care if the sanctioning body says it's not up for grabs. You know what I mean? I myself am an American. If you were told, hey man, you could fight for undisputed, but you have to denounce America. What made you who you are, what helped get you to where you are, who you are. I'll let you achieve your dream if you denounce who you are. What kind of horseshit is that? I've never. Man, you got to be fucking kidding me. He need to reach out to him and go and tell him, he need to reach out to Sula. Fuck that, man. I wouldn't reach out to that motherfucker. I'll say, I'll fight you for the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO. Let's get this show on the road. 3-time world champion, people's champ, undisputed. Fuck it. Why not? Whoever wins, undisputed at 175. Can't get. Hopefully, we get undisputed at heavyweight. You know what I mean? Hopefully we get undisputed at heavyweight. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody came up. Shocked. You know, but you're gonna get people to talk about that shit. The link is there, y'all. What the fuck? Toby Bartlett, Toby, what's up, man? My man Toby in the building. Hat low. Toaststones all day, all around. Oh, we got Haplotype in the building. Oh, where you on a train?
I'm in my car, bro.
Oh.
I didn't want to leave you hanging.
I appreciate it.
I want to jump on and say saludos to the homie.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, my man. I appreciate it.
No doubt. I haven't been hitting links as much lately. I'm kind of over that phase. But, of course, when it's the 1-2 kid, I'll hit the link.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. What's going on? What's going on, Boxing Lounge?
What's good, 1-2 kid? What's up, Happy?
What's going on,
man? So what y'all think about what I'm talking about, man? You think it's overdue? You think motherfuckers ain't talking about it?
Can you give me a recap? Because I was multitasking at the time.
Wow, just about how boxing is going, man, and how people are justifying things and how they're taking full advantage of taking the shit on boxing in the process, and how they hurting it for their own benefit. in the process by using racial undertones and getting super chats to talk about clickbait and you know what they've been doing for a long time now. I just feel like it's about time that motherfuckers just say, you know what, man, this is bullshit. This horse shit, man.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. When you're young, controversy sells because you can't see through the bullshit. But as you get older, you start seeing through the bullshit. But it takes you to go through that journey of sort of like half your life, sort of, to get to that point. Now, I'm kind of generalizing, but you know what I'm saying.
But what's wrong with giving people a push in the process? I mean, we all get to certain places in our life, you know, not at the same time. But that don't mean you don't say nothing. That don't mean you don't, you know, just you know, things are things and blah blah blah. Life is life and good. It's like no, come on, man. You know, don't step in that mud puddle. You're gonna fuck it up for everybody else. You know what I mean? Don't do that. Come on, man. You used to have motherfuckers that'll keep you in line, and unfortunately, we missing that because nobody wants to step out of line because they want to be politically correct or what have you. But ain't nothing politically correct about some of the content that I've been seeing lately. Nothing. And in my eyes, in my opinion, some of the shit is just bullshit. And I'm just like, I don't want to see this. So I change the channel. But unfortunately, it gets shoved in my face 24/7. I have someone comment on the shit or say some shit. You can only ignore it so much before it becomes an issue. You know.
So what needs to change? Do more people need to make noise about it?
Absolutely, I think more people need to make noise. And you want a controversial thing, then you know what? Sometimes you got to go against the grain, and it takes sacrifice to do certain things. And if you ain't sacrificing certain things, then you're gonna if you're doing the exact same thing and expecting the same result, that's the definition of insanity.
Or stupidity.
Or stupidity, yeah. Well, you can't fix stupid, but some people, you know, some people are led astray. And I'm just saying, I would like myself to be like, you know, I wanna give some content for people out there that are listening to some real content, and guys out there that are putting out real content. I like to big them up and push that the most I can. You know what I mean? Guys like Bruce Gas, he's bringing experience on top of the fact that he got the footage, and on top of the fact that he understands it. He's bringing the experience of being there and the type of things that was happening while it was happening. These are experiences that he's sharing with you. You know what I'm saying? That you can't experience on your own, and it's taking him to give it to you. And some people ain't accepting it. They'd much rather watch this because they don't know. They don't know what they're missing out on. And you know, it's just, you know, things like that. For instance, that's just like a you know, putting something in, just an example. But you know, that's what it's about. I'm not big on the fact that I'm not big on that whole Haney situation. I have opinions about that shit too. I don't like the way he's moving, even though he's fighting dude at a weight. It's funny because when other guys moved up and weren't fighting mandatories, they got heat for it. You know, oh, you had a mandatory laying right there, and then you're gonna jump up and wait and fight this guy. And when dude activate the mandatory, now it's everything but that. Let's not talk about that. Oh, I made 22% when I fought Kambosos. It's like, no, you didn't. Look it up. He didn't make that. Like, that's just a ball-faced lie. And I'm can
I ask you a quick question? Has anybody moved up? Has anybody actually moved up in weight to avoid a fight at their current weight?
What do you mean?
I don't know, let's pick a weight. Let's say you're 135 and you don't want to fight someone at 135. You move up to 140 instead, for example.
Yeah.
Does anybody do that? Because to me, in my mind, moving up in weight it should be a bigger progression. Well, provided you've achieved enough at the weight that you're at. You mean you might not be striving for undisputed. You might just want to be the champion or unified.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's different levels to it, but it was just your point about.
Here's what I'm saying though. if you're teasing people with, yeah, I'll fight him. Yeah, we could get it on. Yeah, I ain't leaving. And then you leave. Well, that's something completely different. That's pulling the old switcheroo last minute and then trying to justify it and then doing it again. And then being able to hold on to certain titles, relinquish a title, and then say that the person ducked you. That, to me, when they activate a mandatory, that don't look good. If I give you a shitty offer, like you're just a regular mandatory, you ain't pushing nothing, you ain't got nothing going on, you're not accomplished in any way. If there's a minimum that you can offer them, but if you're offering a minimum to a guy that is accomplished, well, then you don't want the fight. That's how I'm looking at it. It's like you don't want to make that fight. Well, he's starving himself by making 135. He was starving himself when he was begging 2 years ago to fight Ryan Garcia, but that wasn't a problem. Then what did he say? We moving up to 140. And where did they go? They wound up becoming undisputed at 135. So I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at the accomplishments he achieved or if he feels he accomplished enough. But don't tell me that you'll smoke this dude or you'll get in there with him and then say, and then move funny in the process. Like that don't make sense. That don't make sense to me. And if I'm knocking Canelo for jumping up and fighting Kovalev to avoid Demetrius Andrade, and I'm bigging up Haney for not fighting Shakur and moving up and fighting dude, the 140 fighter. He's slipping my mind right now because I'm all over the place. But that's kind of an excuse, because if I lose, it's my first time acclimating to the weight. So I can say, well, I lost to this guy. This guy's better.
Yeah.
Well, but in actuality, I'm not testing myself when I'm saying that I'm going to test myself. And then I switch it up.
Let me give you a scenario, and this is actually a real scenario, right? When David Haye was supposed to fight, I can't remember which Klitschko, because he was supposed to fight both of them at one point, right? He ended up not fighting any of them in the beginning. He went for the big Russian giant, Nikolai Valyov, and he beat him, got the WBA strap. Now, my question is, he fought another champion at that moment in time. Is it a duck?
Yeah, but was it in the same weight class?
Yeah, it's heavy. He moved from cruiserweight to heavyweight.
Okay. All right then.
So because David Haye didn't fight the Klitschko brothers at that moment in time, he decided to fight one of the other champions instead. At that time, would you consider that a duck?
Well, if he's going for that, then he's also contributing to Undisputed, being that he has a title now and he has more leeway,
bargaining power. Yeah.
Bargaining power, yeah. So if you're telling me you're willing to fight me, and then I say, okay, I'll fight you, and then you go, but this is what your offer is, and it's like, you know what? Let me get some other people involved, and then we can make that offer a little more fair. Well, now you want 50-50. Nah, you. Yeah.
That's what he got, though. That's what David Haye got. He got 50-50 with Vladimir.
Right, because he had a title. Right.
Well, not just because he had a title. He had he almost had the same following as Ricky Hatton, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he had a following, and he was lighting people up at cruiserweight.
And a heavy as well.
I'm just not a fan of when people get, like, when they go in and they get into a certain point in their career, which is dope, right? Everything that Devin Haney did was dope. I felt like he took on Kambosos. He risked it all to go over there. They tried to pull all the bullshit, all the stops out, right? But how many people thought that Devin Haney wasn't going to beat Kambosos?
Ooh, I don't know.
Right. Now I'm talking about the matchup. the competition. Now you take Shakur and you put him in with Devin Haney. A lot of people will say that's 50-50 or 60-40. You know what I mean? So now that's a bigger, a higher thing. And then to say things like, well, you passed up on making 3 times more than you've ever made, which was another lie. I'm like, you're basing everything, all your arguments on lies, so that makes it look even more like a duck to me. You know what I'm saying? As to just saying, yo, I'm undisputed. I want to move up to 140 right now. Just come out and say it. I want to move up to 140. But, you know, then he says this at the same time. Well, we'll fight at 140 or 147. But why all the extra shit in between? Why all the cap in between? And I don't expect Shakur to act any different than he is in this situation, because it's a social media type of, you know what I mean? And now I'm seeing shit where, oh, he said he was Ali, or that Tyson Fury could be Ali. Got content creators saying that shit. But when you see guys saying that they were better than Ali, like Mayweather, you ain't got nothing to say about that. Like, that's funny to me. That's just pushing narrative. So I'm not. Now this is opinion. This is just opinion. This part is an opinion. The whole Shakur and Haney thing, that's my opinion. But there are facts that are backing my opinion. And then you compare the last 5. I mean, you compare their resumes as well, right? The last 5 fights, you can compare the last 5 fights.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I was talking before, and I was like, why are they ignoring me?
Oh, yeah.
I heard you say hello, but I didn't hear anything after that.
Yeah. No, I was, I don't know if you guys moved on, but I was going to speak on what you were talking about before.
Oh, yes.
What's up? What was I talking about? Which what?
Go
ahead.
The content creators that are manipulating people.
Yeah, cook on it, man.
It's okay. So I've been here since day one, and I know people get tired of hearing me say that. So I seen it all happen in front of my eyes. Like there were people who came on here, and I'm not going to name their names on your channel, but they decided at a certain point to pander to a certain fan base or another in order to build up a following, because they're on here for different reasons than a 1-2 kid. We just come on here to talk boxing, and we're not trying to make a career out of this. You know what I'm saying? And those guys, they have stars, and they think they're going to get, you know, big and make money and stuff. And maybe some of them even have, but they've done it through nefarious ways. And just the other day, Lisa Bales sent me a video from one of these particular people that I'm thinking of, and it was just disgusting, bro. He was twisting himself in all kind of knots just to make Floyd Mayweather look good and Mike Tyson look bad, saying all kinds of fucking fake shit that was totally wrong, or like he might have one little piece of it right, but then he would manipulate the whole subject to make Floyd, he gets some kind of pleasure out of sucking Floyd off. So I mean, you know, Mike Tyson's star has stayed the same the whole time. Floyd's star is kind of fading now, so I guess he felt the need to come on and like re-bolster Floyd as the TBE or whatever. But so yeah,
some people gotta make themselves relevant, and other people are just relevant.
Right.
You know,
right. Yeah, and
you know,
like if I was chasing subs, I could probably have a whole bunch of subs right now, but I never did. I never asked anyone to sub to my channel. So anyone who subbed to my channel is subbed there because they wanted to.
Yeah, and
I appreciate it.
You didn't have to buy it either.
No, I could have.
Right.
I mean, that's available to anybody, but that's not why I'm here. I'm just here to talk boxing. You know what I'm saying?
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not. at one point, I'm not knocking anyone's hustle, but when your shit's affecting me, now it's a problem. You know what I mean? Now it's becoming an issue. When it's affecting the sport that I enjoy, it becomes an issue. What's up, boxing learner? Long time no see, man.
What's up?
But it starts to affect what I'm doing. It's like being at a job, right? You at work, somebody doing something they're not supposed to do. I don't care what they doing. But if I'm working on a line or something and what they doing is making my job harder, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna approach them. You know, I'm like, yo, the fuck is you doing, man? You trying to make my day harder? Like, what? Do your job, motherfucker. You know, it's just like shit. But it's not the fact that what they on it for and what they're attempting to do, it's what they're portraying in the process. And they come in saying that they're this, but they're that. You know what I mean? I'm doing this, I'm unbiased, you know, facts over whatever.
Manipulating people. Manipulating people to get
I'm not a fan
what
of
little money. I mean, really honestly, dude, boxing is not that big. You're not going to get famous talking boxing on YouTube. But they think they are.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one or two of them are, but not like on the left. Like if you wanted to do that, just come on here and talk about football or something like really big. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, exactly. Like, don't mess with the sport that we got going on and the stuff we doing and messing with. Well, boxing learner came and went. Well, I guess he learned something and he left. Oh, he's back. What up, boxing learner?
What's up? Sorry, my phone. I just got a call.
Oh, okay. So what you want to touch on something? You want to use the platform for a moment?
What are you guys talking about? I heard you guys were talking about Shakur and Devin, but you had like a screen of Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury? Well, nah, I didn't bring up anything about. I was talking about Tyson Fury, about how he fighting Ngannou. That's the first problem, right there. You're a champion. You're not fighting a Mando. You're not attempting for undisputed. It's a cash grab. That's just kind of like the content creator thing that I'm talking about. It's just a cash grab, and then it hurts the sport. Now you taking the luster out of undisputed now because you kind of damage that. Same with Canelo fighting Jermell. Jermell, and to me, as a boxing fan, Jermell and Bud fighting Jermell. Wow, he's undisputed. You know, this dude moving up to be 3-time undisputed. That's big for legacy in boxing. Who really gained in that last fight?
Yeah,
what
Canelo
are the
didn't gain.
odds? Right. What are the odds of Jermell beating Canelo at 168? And I mean, if he pulled it off, yeah, he could be undisputed at 168, but I don't know. Then you come back down, like, and what's the gain? What's the gain for Canelo legacy wise?
He didn't gain anything.
I'm on record as saying he had a 0.01 chance of winning.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I'm still trying to, I guess it's a good fight. I guess it's kind of a good matchup. He's a bigger, super welterweight, or light middle, but he's got good stamina. He's a bigger guy, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know, man. I think Canelo's gonna beat him, but now look at him. Now he come down with, and if he loses to a guy, he just, what do they say? Well, he was damaged goods. What do they say? What do they say about Tyson Fury? Well, we knew then that he wasn't, this or that at this point in time. We knew that after Ngannou beat him, that it would be you taking the luster away from the fight.
Right.
You're not striking when it's hot. You're taking away from the game. When you watch a boxing fight, you kind of want to know what it is that you're watching. You know,
Yeah,
when you got all these extra titles and all this, you know, the Intercontinental. Oh yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, guys. You know, this title, the American, whatever. I get it. It's for this, but at the same time, you fighting for Reggie belts, and then you calling yourself a champion, and you got real champions out there that did it from the bottom up, and you got other people that they just gifting championships, just handing them championships, and just it's not cool. It's not cool. It's just a money grab, and that's why people stop watching boxing because they
yeah,
can't follow it. The rules are constantly changing. Things is always moving. Like, oh, well, change. You're afraid of change. It's like, no, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of deal. You know who this guy is. All right, you know who this guy is. Well, this is the number one contender. So he's going to be fighting the champion soon. You can't call yourself a champion and not, you can't call yourself the king of the hill and not defend yourself if nobody's trying to get to the top. Or if they're not allowing anybody go to the hill. You know what I'm saying? Or they just bringing up the certain people that you know they know you can push over.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Well, with the Canelo thing, yeah, I thought it was dumb. I just thought and people were somehow trying to make it into this big thing. I'm like, this Jamel guy, he's supposed to be fighting Tim Tszyu, which I still think is a very good fight.
Yeah.
Because that's a very good fight. But then it's like he was actually supposed to fight Jamal. I'm like, both of them are inactive. This is the one thing I agree about BoxRec. If you're inactive, you pretty much don't matter. If you're not active, you don't matter until you come back and have a fight. Then you can get back into the play.
Right.
But this guy chose to fight an inactive fighter, and then they're all the Canelo fans are praising him because he's undisputed. And I just thought it was a joke personally. I'm like, why not go to the guy that people want you to fight, David? Why is this such a big deal? Why is it taking so long? Why are you dragging your feet? I don't believe you're scared, but he reminds me of me in high school, like you putting it off to the last minute.
Right. And then when they on their last leg, you put them in there for the cash grab, and it ain't nothing what it was hyped up to be at any point in time. And luckily, when we got Spence and we got Crawford, that was the cool thing, is because we all know Spence went through all his accidents and he went through all of that. But did he have a bad performance in any of his fights prior? No. He looked good still. So everyone was like, all right, cool. Now, there was no excuses when he lost. It was, you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't really excuse it but if you take Charlo, now that you brought him down, he got dropped. He came, you know what I'm saying? He went up to this weight. He come down. He loses to Tszyu, or he loses to Bud Crawford. Yeah, but he wasn't the same. You know, you just took that away. Now, if you get Tyson Fury, who just had that tight fight with Ngannou, you bring him down. Usyk gets his hands on him, starts touching him up. Yeah, but he wasn't the same. He lost his legs, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, as a boxing fan, that kind of hurts. That kind of hurts it. It kind of takes the stank off it. You know what I mean? It takes the smell away from the food. It takes, you know what I mean? It takes the protein and the minerals out of the shit. Now I'm just getting, you know, a fucking cardboard pizza, you know, a school pizza, and I'm chilling at a big pizza shop, and I'm like, this is bullshit.
You know,
you know
something about? I heard that the Jaime Munguia camp, they're going to get to be the mandatory for Canelo, even though he never became champion at middleweight.
Right.
I'm like,
that's exactly what I'm talking about, Boxing Learner. And this is what I mean by narratives. What has Jaime Munguia done that Andre hasn't done? Good and bad in boxing.
Yeah, man, I agree.
And he's a horrible fighter. He don't deserve. You're never gonna get the shot. And then they in talks with Jaime Munguia. Now that tells you everything you need to know, right off the bat.
But it's just
hold on one sec. Did you say that Canelo wasn't champ at 160?
No, Jaime Munguia.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, but that's the perfect scenario. Jaime, good fighter, like Andre, but that's considered and Andre is not. It's not that you got to be a big Andre fan, but what I'm trying to say is now you got Andre, two guys. I've never seen fans despise a fighter so bad for wanting to fight their fighter and then justifying why he don't need to fight him.
Yeah,
More
that's
than
why.
that matchup. And I'm
You
like,
know,
why wouldn't you want him to punch him in the face?
well,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's the problem I had with IBFP. You know, he defends Canelo from false narratives because there are some false narratives against Canelo, but it gets a little crazy with him defending him too much. Like I don't understand how he said. I just saw one short. He said that Jaime Munguia denied to be the mandatory at 160, but but Golden Boy said they're going to take that mandatory spot at 168. I'm like, why can't Boo Boo get that mandatory spot? He was the champ at both weights, 154, 160. And I'm like, he said that he's probably going to fight Jaime Munguia first next year. I'm like, I don't know, man. Really?
Yeah,
Like,
but
that's
that's
the guy.
yo, dude, that's pandering. That's the same dude that said that
Mhm.
Bibble was ducking Zerto. Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Remember that shit? Oh no, why would he have to fight him? But yet I remember being on his live back when we was cool and shit, and him saying that would be a hell of a matchup for Canelo at one point in time. Him and Canelo.
I don't think IBFP's parents showed him any love because when I listen to that guy, all I hear is fucking trauma in his voice. Listen to him; he just sounds off.
Yeah, well, it's not about people in particular though. It's about the movement, the shitty movement that we seeing from folks. And that's what I'm trying to say is if you're gonna keep the same energy on shit, keep the same energy on it.
You know what
You
the
know what I
crazy
mean?
thing? Yeah, you know what the crazy thing is? After they had that little outburst, they had like 1 million views on YouTube. I'm like, this is the perfect time to capitalize on that and have a fight with Andrade.
Right. I think the winner, everyone, even the people that can't stand Andre or the people who can't stand Benavidez, the winner of that fight, all the Canelo fans will be tuned in if they get in there and they fight. Right?
Mhm.
All of them. So why is that a bad thing? And this will be for like number one contention at 168. Why are you trying to block that? Why are channels saying, oh well, he don't need to fight either one of them? What have they done lately? When even Canelo's saying it's a 50-50 fight. That's what I
Well,
mean about the contradictions.
yeah,
Everybody
Canelo he
contradicting
does
themselves.
but Canelo contradicts himself too. You know, he was talking about. I remember when he wanted to fight the winner. He said he wanted the belt at 175, and they said they asked him, Anthony Yarde wins, would you fight him? And he said no. I'm like, what? Like Canelo's, he's a great champion, but I think he's an opportunist at the same time. You can be both.
Yeah,
I
just
tell
like
people that.
Mayweather. Mayweather was doing the same thing. I got to give props for look. Here's a criticism and a praise for both fighters. That you would have a point. Mayweather, the beginning of his career, Pretty Boy Floyd, monster. Competition, monster. Canelo, not so much. Undisputed. Who gained undisputed? Who went through 168? No problem. Canelo did.
Huh?
He got gifted a WBC. We'll
Yeah,
just
he
throw
did.
that in there. And the people that was cool with it were the same people that say Devin Haney was an email champion.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is that's that racial undertone right there on both sides. So I don't care about none of that stuff. Like you got that, you want to talk about that stuff, yeah, get a political channel, talk about that stuff, talk about people, doing this and doing that and figure that shit out. That's cool. I'm talking about boxing. Is this shit a part of boxing? Yeah. Do we need to feed it any energy? Absolutely not.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I'm trying to, that's the point I've been trying to get across from the very beginning. And how the hell are we going to figure that out if content creators and media outlets and reporters are asking dumb questions like, wow, those are some really great shoes reporting. Wow, you're the best fighter in the world. And I don't need another dude, a trainer of a fighter, to bring that shit up when I had James Toney calling dude a jockstrapper when he was in his gym. You a jockstrapper. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I already knew prior to that. Now you using it for an outlet. You using them as a punching bag to push a narrative. I don't care about this mofo. Like any like the dude did this. He's an opportunist as well. Obviously, in every sense of the word, the biggest opportunist reporter in boxing is got to be fucking Ellie.
Sepa.
You know, grab sacks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's got to be him. We know that though, but it is what it is. I see that, but I don't. You know, you could criticize him and push a narrative, but I don't care about that. None of that shit.
Yeah.
I care about the fact that that motherfucker is a reporter and he's letting the gyms, and they know that this dude don't know shit, and they know that he won't. You know that he's just riding with the hottest thing at the time. Shouldn't allow him in your gym.
Man, it's crazy. I really wanted to see that Berlanga versus Munguia fight. They were talking about.
I would. I would love to see that because I would totally be rooting for both of them. Because I'm not rooting for either one of them. And I'm just like, shit. I think Jaime Munguia is a good fighter.
Me too.
I think he's a decent fighter. But, you know, I'm not comparing talent-wise, but the same type of thing that you got with Tank Davis. Tank Davis, it's like, yo, Tank, when are we gonna see you fight an elite fighter? When?
Yeah, man.
When? Oh well, we running boxing, and I need to. Mayweather's like, I gotta keep myself relevant, and blah 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 that. Like, yo, it's like Mayweather, you had your career, you had a great career. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna call you the best ever, but I'm gonna say you was a hell of a fighter, man. You left undefeated. You picked some of your opponents in that, but you still did it. Okay, cool. Canelo Alvarez, great fighter. This motherfucker went through all these weight classes, picked some of his fights, but he beat him, I guess. So it is what it is. Challenged himself, whatever, and it didn't go his way. And I think guys like Suleiman don't want this dude to lose again, because it might hurt his pockets. If he loses undisputed and loses to a fighter, exact same fighter again,
it could be a problem because
that could be a problem. Yeah,
50 million. Like he needs 50 million to fight. So he loses, then it could be a problem for him asking this amount of money. And they say,
I understand the game. I just don't understand how they moving. It's kind of like they moving different. And then when people justify it, it makes the sport bad. It's shitting on the sport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's shitting on the sport because everyone want to justify it here, but not justify it there. We want to say, okay, well, this is the fighter. Blah, 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 blah. Yo, when Shakur dropped his title and lost on the scales, I gave him heat for it. I said, yo, man, that's fucked up. But he didn't say, well, I'm going to try to maintain 130 and hold on to my titles. Dismiss this one. And no, he said, I'm moving to 140, period. He didn't say he was going to be fighting anybody at or I'm moving to 135. He didn't say he was going to be fighting someone at 130 and he ain't leaving yet. And it's still up for grabs. We'll see. He just said, yeah, I'm done. I can't make the weight no more. I'm gone. He didn't stick around. And when he couldn't get the fights, decided to leave. And then that's that shit, man. That's that bullshit. That's playing it both ways. That's why I'm not a fan of Haney right now. Because when certain people get to certain things, and I'm not knocking the fact that he made it. I'm knocking the fact of how he moving after he made it. When what's his name? Teofimo did it, he got all the heat in the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, keep the same energy when you're dealing with the same situation. You know what I mean? When Floyd was avoiding Thurman, and then Thurman started avoiding Spence, and then Spence said, I'm not going to fight Thurman. You're doing the exact same thing that they doing. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, I'll never fight him because he didn't fight me. You're doing the exact same thing. The fuck, you know, that's just,
it's some petty shit, isn't it?
Yes, It's like, yo, since when fighters start talking like that? This the fight game.
The only time I've known fighters to talk like that in the past is when they're friends. But you can understand that they don't want to fight each other. But anything else it's business, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's like, I get it. You want to make money. I get it. You worked hard for what you was doing. But don't forget what you're doing. You're a boxer. You're a fighter. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, this is what it is. Sometimes when guys go through shit and they knock shit out and they just doing it and they get a couple easy fights, hey, cool. No problem. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, you work this stuff, get a little payday here and there. That's one thing. But when you're on top of your game and you're in the middle of trying to get some fights and y'all prolonging the big fight and it's right there, and then one of y'all get knocked off, that's over marination. Yep. And now you can't get that cash grab. Now now because you got all them little cash grabs, you can't get the big one now because don't nobody like you. Because most of these dudes is hyped up anyway. No, for real though. Most of these dudes are hyped, and these motherfuckers like, yo, man, I ain't fucking with this dude. The moment these motherfuckers get wiped out, they're like, fuck that dude. That dude's a bum.
Shit, it couldn't even work for Pacquiao and Mayweather. Pacquiao got knocked out before they were prolonging it so long. He got knocked out.
Right.
That's right.
Knocked
he did.
Out cold. Yeah. And
no one thought he'd be the same after that knockout.
And there he was. And I mean, then he whipped up on Thurman years later. Surprise, surprise, motherfuckers. Like, it's just what it is. It's what it is. And Marquez, the way he got wiped out by Mayweather. And Styles make fights. Every fucking fight he had with Pacquiao was a fucking war. Every fight was this. You could watch any fight right now, any four of them, and be entertained every round. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it is what it is. But you don't get fights like that if. Let's just say that Marquez wasn't a big name fighter and shit was moving the way it was. We would have never even probably got that fight. That's what we getting right now. How the fuck is Tyson Fury fighting Ngannou? He didn't come out of he didn't retire, and you know what I'm saying? How the fuck is he fighting Ngannou?
Tyson Fury is just a problem in itself. He's just not a good champion. His brother said he's not a good champion. His brother. But
how is it allowed though?
I don't know.
How is the sanctioned body saying?
It's just the WBC.
Yeah,
it's just Suleiman. Suleiman was all like, "Yeah, we're on board with this." Suleiman, he's just a soft guy. He's a pushover. He's just,
I don't think he's.
But one, two, kid. Respectfully, if you're going to criticize that, you have to criticize Ali against the Japanese wrestler.
Wendo.
Before we were born. Yeah, he did an exhibition fight. It was like weird cross rules where the guy was allowed to kick him when he was on his back. Have you seen it?
I've only seen pictures of it, but
Ali said his legs weren't the same. It took his legs 6 months to heal after that fight.
Wow. Yeah, that's why you can't get arrogant.
You ever take a thigh kick or a knee kick from a professional fighter? Yo, it's a different feeling, man. It's like, that's dude, why didn't you just sidebar me and sneak me and punch me in the face?
Just knock me out cold.
Yeah, why did you just fucking damn, man? I could take a punch to the face. Like, holy shit. And those guys, that's something not to play with. But that was gimmicky, but was he avoiding a fight in the process?
No, I don't think so. I think it was something to do with his license being, his 3 years hiatus?
Yeah.
I think it was something around that period.
He had to make money. Life, and he still left the imprint on boxing. The prime of his life was taken away. Where would he have been, and who would he have been if that wasn't changed? You know what I'm saying? But that's in the past, and look what he still did. Talk about a love for the sport. And don't stop comparing these guys. And this goes for Shakur. This goes for Mayweather. This goes for all of those guys. You know, even Bobby Earl, for that matter, who've been in the game for years. Half of these fighters, well, I think he might be better than Ali. Half of these fighters couldn't even make it to the ring back then. That was a different era. Like,
do you see it on the screen?
Shit, man. Like, yeah, I see it. Dude lay it down and shit.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
Oh my God, yeah. Look at he like, get up.
What the fuck?
Get up, sucker.
At least Fury wasn't getting kicked.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy. It's funny too, because Ali didn't think to kick his ass when he was on the ground.
He's a puncher.
Right, he's a puncher. Hey, punchy. You know, he's like, yeah, there we go. And look at, oh man, no wonder why that motherfucker was complaining. But that was in fun, and it's still oh, they kicked him there, didn't he? He did. He kicked me. He said, get up, sucker. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. And you talk about a promoter, that motherfucker could promote. Oh man, Ali was a promoter for real. One of the first and best.
Yeah,
he could do
fighter.
it in the ring. He could do it outside of the ring, and dealing with shit in the process that, you know, would
I think
break
Tyson
the
Fury
average
tries
man.
to do that. Tyson Fury tries to be the promoter, you know, promote the fight and try to be that too. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he's living a lifestyle.
Yeah, but Fury talks so much bullshit that you only have to listen to him for a year to work out that he's so inconsistent with his own lies.
Yeah, and I heard he got a
Any
TV
man-
show. Doesn't he got a TV show, a reality show? Or
Oh
something?
man, really?
Yeah.
Any man born from his dad's nutsack can't beat me. Who talks like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck, man? I want you to stand in the middle of that ring. I trained 12 weeks. And then after the fight, I didn't train for the fight.
Well, what the fuck were you doing for 12 weeks then? Snorting cork and drinking beer?
It's just like, I could care less. You know, because everything that comes out of his mouth, like you said, Lounge, is just bullshit. And it's just like,
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Fuck, man. Yeah, man. And
The only time I think he's actually genuine is when he's actually critiquing his own performance.
Yeah. I could have done better. I should have used me jab. My legs weren't there. And I mean, look at how the dude is built. Like, it's bad. I mean, I know that shouldn't matter, but
I heard. Is it true that he came in his highest ever in the fight?
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, I think so.
Man.
Damn.
He was looking for a short fight because you don't come in that heavy and expect him to go the distance.
He tried to lean on dude. Dude just shoved him off, and he was like, "This guy."
It's like, nah, been in the octagon, bitch.
He's an ox. he's a man. He's born from his dad's nutsack. Yo,
Yeah.
and what happened after that? And we've seen fighters do it. We've seen guys complain about what bad performances up for the promotion of the fight. They didn't say that they was injured. It's been my best training camp, injury free. Then they get in my shoulder, my hand. Oh man, I was working on this injury for some time now. It's like, dude, first off, you're lying to people in the beginning, and now you want them to listen to you at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man, you can't do that, man. Just say,
I
hey,
heard-
man.
Yeah, that happened with Pacquiao. I think he was telling they were asking, "Are you sure you're healthy? You're all healthy and stuff like that." And then because people were putting money on Pacquiao, people still believed in him. And then when he lost, he said like, my shoulder. People wanted to sue him. A lot of people wanted to sue him.
And then Lomachenko did it too. I've seen it in the training. This has been my best camp. Then it's just, my shoulder. At the end of the fight, I'm like, what? And then
But it happened
to
Mayweather too, right? With the first Castillo fight, he hurt his rotator cuff, But
oh yeah, yep. It happened. That's what I'm saying. It's all.
I thought he lost that fight in the first one.
A lot of fighters have been through that, and whether it's legitimate or not, kind of hinders. But when you're bragging about how good you are and how fine you feel before the fight, and then complain about it
Yeah,
after, it's not a good look. It
it's
ain't gonna
false
help you.
advertising, basically.
Yeah, it's false advertising, man. You can't move like that and then expect to be, expect the same treatment. And then unfortunately, fans are like, yeah, but he had an injured shoulder. It's like, yeah, and he sold you the fight. Why ain't you mad, motherfucker? You know what I mean? He didn't go in there 100%, and he could have just said, "Yo, I injured my shoulder. I want this fight to happen," or I didn't want it to slip, so I went in with the injury, regardless. But just not keeping it real though. Just keeping it real, like, yeah, wow. Some people knock people for saying that. Oh, they already coming up with excuses. It's like, are they? Or are they really fucking going through it at the moment, man? Yo, you know what sucks, Boxing Lounge? I know you got
What's
that
that?
undisputed game, right?
Yeah. I was playing it earlier.
Yeah. How come that shit didn't come out on console yet?
Because they had, long story short, because they still haven't fixed the game on PC yet. There's no creative boxer, so I can't even do what I did with round 3. Creating all the YouTubers and making them fight. But it's due to drop. They said in the autumn, but they haven't set a date. So when it's going to be out in console, I don't think it'll be out for Christmas because they haven't made any noise about it. But I would dare say it should be kind of hopeful Easter. I don't see why it wouldn't be out for Easter.
Yeah.
On console, that is.
Okay. Well, hopefully. Says, don't blame Canelo because Benavidez did coke and ate donuts. That was not on him. That's a fact. And I didn't say that. What I said was he didn't have an opportunity. He didn't lose it in the ring. He lose it before he got to the ring on some dumb shit. But he didn't have the opportunity to regain it either.
The crazy thing about that situation is Canelo went up to fight to be undisputed in 2 weight classes, but he would have to give up that. He would either have the WBO, because you have the WBO, right? You can't have another belt in another weight class. So either way, he would either have to pick: is he going to stay at 175, or is he going to stay at or drop the belt at 168? So I think he was trying to be undisputed in 2 weight classes at the same time. That was never going to work anyway.
I think he was trying to do whatever the hell he wanted, and they were bending the rules to allow him to do it because they were getting paid in the process.
Right.
That's all it is. That's all it is. It's not a knock on him as a fighter. It's a knock on the fact that people are be able to do this stuff, and the rules and regulations bend for certain fighters. That's my problem with it. And the fact that fans justify it and go, "Wow, he could do what he wants," and it's just like, "Oh man,
really?
You gotta stick to the standards." Yeah, if you ain't got no standards, then what is everything based on? Nothing.
Yeah.
So
all you have to do is drop the belt. Drop the belt.
Yeah, drop the belt if you ain't gonna defend it.
Yeah, Floyd used to do that, drop his belt. So
he would drop them and move around, and it wasn't holding up the division. It's not holding it up. So now you got 2 guys that want to fight you, that a lot of people would like to see you fight, and you saying nobody could beat that guy that was in the ring tonight. So you're gonna fight the winner of Benavidez and Andre? I don't know.
I
can do what I want, right? But
that's the type of shit that be making me laugh. I'm like, yo, you hear that shit? Like, I'll be talking like the Canelo fans. Y'all hear that shit? Like, nobody can beat this Canelo. I'm like, all right then, let's see.
Yeah, no 154 pounder could beat that Canelo. Like, that's a fact. We all kind of knew that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this guy moves up from 154, and I'm not saying he didn't have a chance, but he didn't really have a chance.
Yeah, like Charlo would have to be like a different fighter mentally to be able to beat Canelo.
Did you notice when Cotto fought Canelo, them punches had 0 effect on Canelo?
On Canelo? Yeah. Well, where were they fighting at? 160? Because Cotto's not really a 160. He's
Right.
Exactly. He's
That's
a
my
154.
point. Right. That's my point. And you talk about a guy with a great chin at his weight class that he moved to, and he carried that chin, and he can take a shot. I'm not knocking the fact that he moved up to the weight class. I'm not knocking the fact that he took on some decent competition in the process. I'm knocking the fact that, what did you expect? Am I supposed to be doing backflips because he beat Jermell Charlo?
Yeah, man. It's just not. It's good on. It sounds good on paper. That's the problem.
Right.
They're
Undisputed versus undisputed.
Yeah, the same thing with Loma and Rigondeaux. The first time two-time Olympic gold medals fight off against each other is good on paper, but there's a reason why it hasn't happened, because they're usually weights apart.
What up, Roz Clot? Roz Clot in the building. Yeah.
Hey, is someone in a pool hall right now? Do I hear pool balls?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, cool.
Oh, in the pool hall, huh? What are you, a shark?
No, I'm at the rec.
Mm.
Yeah, we got 3 pool tables. Yeah.
Yo, man, playing pool ain't like riding a bike. You can't leave that shit and go back to it for years. I realized that shit.
Oh, come on, guys. Seriously. See the size of the pockets in America? They're like double the size of the pockets in the UK or Europe.
Oh, yeah, I'll put it like this. I had a regulation table in my basement, and then I went out with my friends and shit, and we play on them little ass big pocket pool tables, and I'd just be running everybody out of that bitch. Then, some years later, I had got rid of my pool table, and I get up in there, and I said, "Yeah, I'll play you some pool," and I still think I still got it. Oh my God, I didn't have it. I was like, "Yo, what the fuck, man?" So you gotta stay on your game, man, and that goes for these fighters. Yeah, you gotta stay sharp. Iron sharpens iron, and if you're practicing against the best, and then of course these fights look easy, but when you get in there with the best and another elite fighter, and you look normal, you just look like any other fighter.
The problem with boxing is that you need a long time to really, really get good at it. It takes a long time to really get good at it. And then that's why they have the amateurs for the young kids. So when they get there, then they can at least get a semblance of what their style is, what they're good at, get the fundamentals down. Because we don't want to see that shit in the pros. You struggling, you having problems with form and footwork. You should already have that stuff down.
Yeah, you should. Right. And that's the thing. If you're on the shelf too long and you just keep fighting easy fights, then you get in there with an elite fighter and you look shocked and in awe. You're like, who the hell is this guy that he's fighting? And that dude's just a decent fighter, contender that's just slapping this dude up, Mr. Hype Man. And you like, how's this happening? And a couple people who know boxing put their money in the right place, and then and you come out on top because you're watching the game.
A lot of these guys, they're starting later. I'm like, I like Brian Mendoza, but he started later. I'm like, man, you need more fights before you can be a guy like Tim Tszyu. I applaud him. I really like the fight. But I was saying, like, you need more experience. You only got like 22. You just started like in your late teens.
Yeah, he's a good fighter too, though.
Yeah,
he's a decent fighter, but yeah, you're right. The way that I continue to get impressed with Tszyu, and I remember when Actual Facts was talking about him all the time when he was coming up, and I was like, yeah, okay, listening, and then I started watching him and was like, yo, every time I see him, he looks better against top-notch competition. Against better and better competition, he keeps looking better to me, and I'm like, that to me, that's what makes a champion. And I don't know, man, that dude's gonna be a big name, man.
A year ago, Jermell would have beat him. Now it's not looking too good.
Yeah, and then, like I said, what would it look like if they would have just fought? What would that look like if Jermell and fucking, it would have been a better fight if Bud Crawford moved up and then took that on. Now if Bud Crawford does get the accomplishment and does beat him, it's gonna have a little tarnish on it. People are gonna bring up, well, yeah, but he wasn't the same.
Right.
You know, and that's what I mean. I'm like, yo, y'all fucking it up when it's the getting's good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Y'all
Yeah.
showing up to
You
the
guys talking about-
Thanksgiving dinner on Christmas. And it's like, yo, man, don't nobody really care about it now. You taking some of the, you know, you tarnishing it, man.
Yeah.
And it's a waste. It's a waste for guys like us that it really enjoy the sport, because you don't want to see that, man. We wanted to see fucking Usyk and Tyson Fury. Now we're gonna see it. Now we're seeing them, you know, someone on a downslide, someone who's coming off an injury.
They're both on the downside, honestly. Usyk is getting up there. He's about to be 37 next year.
Right, but
Yeah, but
you know,
his activity levels are still up there. Fury, you mean you're only as
Right.
good as your last fight, and if Fury maintains the same level and goes in to fight Usyk, my money's on Usyk. So I've changed my
you
pick.
guys just brought up the comment. Did anyone think that after Manny got slept that he was going to be, you know, in contention and then taking
I
on
thought he was going to
guys,
retire after that.
right, and taking on guys that were young and beast and monsters? Getting there with a Thurman at that point in time was crazy, because guys like Mayweather wouldn't even do that, or wasn't even thinking about doing nothing like that.
Facts.
You know, and he
But it
went
makes
in
you
there
think, what
and he
can these
goes in there
modern
and
day
beat him.
pets do?
Yeah, well, that's a whole other subject. That's a whole nother subject. Now, you talk about that. I'm not a big fan of that shit either. You know what I mean? I would like to see him get in there and do it straight up, man, and just find out who the best fighter is and not who got the best shake. I've been saying that shit for years. You know, because this thing might give you the edge to get by a guy that can usually whip your ass.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
I think another big problem is the inactivity. These guys, they want big money, but we see them years apart. It took almost 3 years for us to see Thurman again.
Yeah, but and there you go. And that's why PEDs play a big part in boxing too, because you got to get in shape. This dude been sitting around and enjoying the spoils, and then he got to make weight. He got to do this, take some of this, and you're gonna need some of this for that, and then we got to get your stamina up, and we got to get, you know what I mean? You got to make weight, and so take this shit, take that shit.
Yeah,
They
I
come
don't.
in there all, you know
Speaking
what I
of
mean?
that,
Snack.
With
yeah.
consolations on their back and shit.
I don't
You know
even
what
think
I mean? The
Jamel's
Big Dipper.
We don't know if Jamel. It could be another year before Jamel comes back. Speaking of, he just got his payday, so it could be another year.
Yeah, man. And you see a lot of people give, these guys that you know they give a lot of heat to Vada, and guys that back up Vada, but hey, man, at least they trying.
Do you think he'll move up from? Well, I know he moved up from 154 to 168, but do you think he'll move up to 160 now that he's actually put on the weight?
They'll probably give him his brother's old belt. He probably
but his brother ain't fighting. So I mean, that was the only reason why he was chilling at 160. I think. I mean, at 154, is so that they weren't mandated to fight each other or anything. Yeah, like, okay, you got that weight class, I got this weight class. But his brother been inactive for so long that he was doing everything. Jamel,
his brother has been inactive for like over 800 days, 870 days. Yeah, it's crazy.
But let's play devil's advocate. Let's say the other brother was fresh and he fought Canelo. How do you think that fight would have been?
Jamal versus Canelo.
I always get the names mixed up. The bigger one.
Yeah, Jamal versus Canelo. That would have been a good fight. I think that he would actually have a real chance to win.
Yeah, that's an unpopular opinion too. But I gotta agree that he would have a better chance, because even though I like the way that Jamel moves better, and I like the way he is as a fighter and his energy, well, up until lately, because he sold out. But I do feel like Jamal can do things that Jamel can't in the ring. And he had like one or two bad performances, and people just wrote on that. But I'm like, yo, I remember that Derevyanchenko fight, and he looked great in that fight. I was like, I was like, yo, he was switching up speeds. He was changing levels. He was doing a lot of shit in that fight. And
Yeah,
I
man.
think that's because of his trainer. I think Derek James got a lot of props for having an undisputed fighter and a guy with 3 belts, but at the same time, I do feel like, dude, the other guy was a better trainer. He didn't have the accolades, but
Yeah, Ronnie Shields.
I think Ronnie Shields is actually working with him, not just walking in with the high guard and throwing everything hard and working on footwork and stuff. Because Jermell did his thing, but he did it with a basic style. And he also did it on the fact that he was just talented and had stamina and was always in good shape and had a good punch. And he did things, the little things that he did do well. And that's what got him where he was. But you had Jamal was working on new things, but I just don't think Jamal is in the game.
Yeah, he's not in the game anymore.
Yeah,
he's messed up now.
Yeah, he's messed up. So, yeah, but I mean, if he was 100%, which is a big, if fifth was a fifth, but that's just a whole nother conversation as well.
Demetrius Andrade now, he's 35. This is his only chance. He better beat David, because if he doesn't beat David, he's gonna have to.
That fight, man.
What's up? You dig it?
I think that fight is going to be a lot closer than people think. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a pushover fight for Benavidez, and I don't think that I think Andre's in for some shit too, because this is going to be the toughest competition that I've seen Andre in with, and
by a big jump. It's a big jump.
And I honestly feel like Andre is a better fighter than Plant.
Okay.
I think Plant is a one-handed fighter. I think he's left-handed, and that's all he uses. I don't think his right hand is.
Oh yeah, his straight right hand. Ain't that
great? Yeah, he barely uses it. He uses his left all the time, and I think he's a natural southpaw. I think he's good at using it, but he's a planted fighter too. Even though they consider him a mover and all that,
he can move really good when he wants to.
When he wants to, but I don't know, man. I don't feel like I don't think his feet are as good as a Bival's at all. I think a Bivol could get in and out and change angles on you. He can't do that, and he's known for that, but he's actually not doing that. You know what I mean? He does a little slick move here and there, but it's in spurts, And then around the 8th round, that motherfucker got nothing left.
Right.
And he looks great for those couple of rounds, and then it's like, good, see you later.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Judah effect. Zab Judah.
But Andrade needs this. His fans have been going hard. Now his fans have come out in full force. They were a bit hiding because he wasn't really doing anything with his career.
Right. He wasn't. And I was criticizing him about that too. Like, I was one of the people that was criticizing him about it, because I was like, look, man, you got to fight somebody. And then when he's not fighting guys, when he's got the opportunity to do it, as to him not being able to get the fight, well, that's just something completely different. But we do got the fight. The two fighters that a lot of people would like to see fight Canelo, and they fighting each other. And this is what Canelo was clamoring for years. Why don't you guys fight each other? You and Jamal fight each other, and then maybe I'll fight you. And I said, yeah, that's a good point. Now you got two guys one guy that everyone wants to see you fight in Benavidez, and a guy that's been following you for a long period of time. And he's saying fuck Canelo. Why not? Because Canelo said fuck him.
Yeah.
But why don't you go and shut him up? If he pulls off this dub, why don't you shut up the whole Benavidez monster thing? Because I do feel like that's stylistically, I think that's a good matchup, because he's got fast hands. But he's pretty planted with his feet, and he sits on his shots, and he could be open for a lot of counters, and he got a long body. You know what I mean? So he could be open for a lot of what Canelo does, but he's got a great jab. Both of their styles complement one another. You got a counter puncher and Canelo that thrusts, puts all force into that shit. But is the pressure gonna get to him? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I remember Jamal was talking about how Andre was a nobody. He said he was going to fight David Benavidez, and for a long time that was a big fight. And then every time you asked him about it, he would shoot it down. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Well, he was told who to fight, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't get that Bud Crawford fight until fucking Spence finally said, "Fuck it, let's do it." No, I don't care. Let's fight. I'm tired of this dude running his mouth. I could beat him. And his advisor like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" There's a reason I didn't want to bring it up, but I'm just letting you know. This could go all the way left. I support you, but we'll see. But it happened.
And they want to do. They want to do the rematch, and it's going to be hard to sell because this was a complete. He had. I think.
Is it definitely happening? Because I heard it was postponed.
I don't know, but
hard to sell. It's going to be hard to watch.
Yeah, it was hard
because man, I'm telling you, I had trouble watching the last two.
Me
rounds.
too. The first week it came out, I struggled to watch it because he was getting punished so bad.
Mm-hmm. I was like, oof, and it was going my way, and I still was like, yeah. Derek, throw in the towel, man. Somebody.
Yeah, but you got to say this at least. Spence, he's one tough dude because he wasn't actually knocked out. He was still on his feet.
Yeah, he was on his feet. He was on
his feet the whole time. He didn't steer clear. He did what he was capable of doing in the fight.
But at times that can be worse. That can be worse if you're on your feet and you take it.
As a fighter, though, he ain't gonna give up.
Yeah,
he
but
got
that's
a lot
where
of people there supporting him.
Derek should have came in,
Yeah, and saved his ass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Spence's balance is gone. It's not
clear as day.
Not like it used to be.
Yeah.
I think the car crashes fucked him up.
Maybe, but he looked good in his last fight. He looked good against. I felt
Ugas,
like
it was kind of struggling. He got a little crazy.
And I think if Ugas had another gear or a few more tools, he could have.
But Ugas is a planet fighter. He can't follow you around the ring. He can't do that. He's a planet counter puncher.
Yeah. Yep. And but I mean, he crushed Ugas though. I mean, in the end, it was just it was what Spence was known for.
Right.
Keep the pressure on, beat up on you, take over, push you around, outstrength you. He got in there with Bud, and Bud just shoved his ass. Countered him, pulled back, just missed the counter. I said, the fight's over. First 2 rounds. I said, the fight's over. This guy can't get away. Boom. Then he gets knocked down. Said, I knew it. I said, he's shoving him around. He don't like first round was basically I'm feeling you out, and then realized that this dude had nothing for him, and he just completely took over and I think he was like, I don't think how some people carry people or feel bad for him. He was punishing him worse than worse. Like he was just carrying him to take him out.
Yeah,
they didn't stop it. It would have been
in the
worse.
8th. He could have really took him out in the 8th, but he let him get out of the 8th. But the 9th,
that's why you don't shit on a fighter for that long and let all that anger build up, because he bottled that shit up and poured it all over Spence's head.
Yeah,
and
man.
It was like this. No, there's still more coming.
Because they were shitting on Crawford for a good 5 years. I've heard a lot of people shit on Crawford, man, over the 5 years.
But Crawford called it. He said, he was like, and when I stop you, they're gonna say you too small. And he was like, when I stop you, they're gonna say you weight trained and all this shit. And you stayed at 147 too long. He's like, you ain't gonna stop me. But that energy told you everything too. I'm my own promoter. All that shit that he was saying. All that energy told you that he wasn't in control. All that energy told you, well, I'm gonna fight this guy, I'm gonna fight this guy, I'm gonna fight this guy.
Yeah, he said he basically had a plan. He said they had a plan for him.
But I kind of read it as sort of protected energy, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I've got my bag. I've got what I need. I don't need to
right.
worry about you.
But to his benefit, when he was done with that, he said, "Nah, I want this one."
Yeah.
He wanted that fight just as bad as Crawford did at that time.
Right.
Well, the
Because
fight
he
wouldn't
wanted to
happen
clear it
unless
up.
Spence had agreed to it.
Right, right. And I'm sure it was against everybody's saying it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But he
But
did it,
Heyman
so
was
we
like, "No, I
got
don't
that
want you to
because
take
of
this
him.
fight."
Yep.
Yeah, Al just had his own plan for Spence.
Yep. Well, but I'll tell you what, we got it though, and he went out there, and the result was worse than I thought it would be. But
But here's the thing, right? If you really wanted to protect your fighter and make him, last longer, why wouldn't he have moved Spence up to 154? I know he would have ducked the fight, but if he had picked up another strap, you can kind of sort of forgive him for that because Bud was going to move up anyway.
because Jamel was there snatching up the straps.
Right.
It was strap season for Jamel, and you gotta give it to Jamel because 154 was a hot potato. There was some good, decent. They weren't big names, but there was some decent competition there. And there was some dangerous fights there, and he went through there and he got all them straps. So, shout out to Jamel for that. And then this is what I mean. They get to a certain point, and then they start moving different. And of all the fighters, I gotta say I didn't expect that from Jamel. Of all the fighters, the way his energy was, I was like, ah. Then his whole energy changed with the fight, and I was just like, oh man, here we go. Here we go. It's what it is. It's not. It's nice to see Teofimo kind of getting some of that old energy he had back, with a hint of delusion.
Yeah.
But at one point, once he got to that certain point, he was just completely delusional. And I think that hurt him in that Kambosos fight. I'm gonna knock him out in the first round.
Yeah, man. I was trying to tell people that Kambosos. They said Kambosos was just better. He just Styles make fights. I'm not sure that's the case. I just think that he just wanted to get a first round knockout. That's what he really wanted.
I think a lot. I gotta give some content creators some props too, because I criticize, but I gotta give props. A lot of people were saying, "Damn man, he needs somebody else in his camp that ain't just emotionally evolved with him like his pops, and actually trying to make him a better fighter. Because he's a good fighter, he's got skills and stuff, but he got to stay focused. And if you got a focused Teofimo, he beat Lomachenko handily, worse than anybody had up to that point. And then you see what he did to the Irishman. I mean the Scotsman. I mean, and that guy, a lot of people didn't think that was going to happen, and he just started touching him up. And that was a closer fight than people give dude credit for. But still, in all, he lost.
Yeah.
And nobody said. And it was funny too, because I said I would like to see Teofimo and Regis fight when he was at 135. I'd like to see, if he moved up, I'd like to see that fight, or him and Tank, because I like to see the explosiveness, the power versus power, and the twitch versus twitch.
Yeah, that's actually.
But everyone laughed at me. They were like, "Regis will kill him." And now look at it.
Regis is out here struggling to beat guys now.
Kind of make you wonder if 140 was what people thought it was.
Actually, there is not. It's just that these guys they're B-level guys. They're good fighters, but they're B-level guys. There's not a real A-level. Even Teofimo, like he can only be A-level on certain nights. But mostly they're B-level guys, Arnold Barbosa, B-level, Jose Ramirez, maybe a B+, but there's not really an A+ guy or an A-level guy, A-, whatever.
I was never sold on Hooker.
Me either. I don't think he was that good. He just beat a guy that had a belt.
Yeah, I watched him in a fight. I watched him live, and they were like, everyone was hyping him up. I looked at it, I said, I'm not even sure he won that fight. Like, he didn't look great.
He almost got killed by Jose. He almost killed that guy.
He was game. He had some talent, but there was something missing with that dude. I don't know what it was. But
Jabril Matias, he's looking like the next guy, but we gotta see him in there with at least one or two guys before they really crown him.
Yeah, and that's what it is. You kind of gotta not just throw these guys in there with top-notch competition too soon, but at the same time, don't hype them up to be too big, because then you're gonna get a Ryan Garcia,
Right, man.
and
Oh,
and a talented kid that you treat him like a baby for quite a few fights, and then you throw him in there and he's not ready. Now he wants, I want some get back. It's like, yo, man, your following drop, bro. Yeah, you know, it was built. It was built on a house of cards. You know, it was built on a castle card. So when, and I've said it, man, and I know y'all know it, the rule. But when it falls, you ain't gonna get the same love that you did when you went. Why? What happened? It's like, dude, man, you wasn't fighting nobody.
well, yeah, that's true. And the guys he were fighting were, he fought one good guy, which is Nick Campbell, and then he started fighting guys that were faded, like Javier Fortuna.
Mhm.
He got beat by fucking Jojo Diaz, man.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
started beating guys that were faded, and they wanted to fight at 135, but by then he had already outgrown
Well,
135.
you take guys like Tank, you could say the same thing, but the problem is his talent might keep him there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
his
he's a
talent.
talented fighter. The guy could fight, and it's just like, but how good is he? And what happens if he challenges himself? And it's like, well, why does he have to challenge himself?
Yeah,
Basically,
his
let's just
fan.
throw right. His fan
His,
base, what he's the money maker. He could do what he wants. Same thing.
yeah,
This
but
space of boxing is a shield, man.
yeah, that's really what it is. But
It's a shield.
but I think 140, hopefully 140, because they don't have any big names. Similar, but 154's got a big name now, Tim Zhu, because that dude, I heard he's a big star over there in Australia, man. Heard he's huge.
Who's that? Oh, Tim Zhu.
Yeah, I heard he's huge over there.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing he's gaining steam here in the United States too. You know what I mean? And I think, let's just be real. Some of the biggest fans, the biggest boxing fans in the world, like that are kind of consistent, is in Mexico and the UK,
Mhm.
right? But you have to go to the United States to make the type of money and get the type of, to be known worldwide.
To be known worldwide,
Right. To reach that type of pinnacle. So with that being said, what's happening is you got people who are just meat shielding for UK fighters, American fighters, and Mexican fighters, but in all actuality, they all need each other to meet that elite thing. And if you're gonna keep putting blocks in the game and hurdles, more hurdles than certain fighters actually need, or
Yeah.
that have been playing the game correctly, that's not cool. Like that's favoritism. That's
Yeah.
tribalism, favoritism, what have you. You stick in the code, and your boy ain't making the grade. You know what I'm saying? He ain't making the grade, man. And I just like to see guys that challenge themselves, because you can say what you want about guys like the guys that criticized Haney for what he did, but he attempted to make those fights happen. He couldn't get them. You could say what you want now about Shakur. He's attempting to make them fights happen. Guys are moving around.
Yeah, he wanted to make that Frank Martin fight happen. That Frank Martin.
Yeah. Now he's fighting who is it? Dos Santos?
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone was saying prior. Remember, a lot of the community was saying, yeah, he ducking this dude. Yeah, he's this, he's that. Yo, this dude could ice him. Now he gonna fight him, and when he schools him, they're gonna say, yeah, but that dude is a nobody.
Right. That's the common response. They hype the guy up that says
to shield the fighter that they don't want him to fight.
Yeah.
And then when they hype the dude up and then he beats the dude in convincing fashion, because this is the same shit that I heard about Haney when Haney was coming up. He's boring. He's just a boxer. The difference is I'm seeing I gave that man props, but I'm seeing Shakur stand in the middle of the ring, trade with these guys, and still not get hit. So much so that they got to hate on this guy so bad that they got to bring up sparring sessions, bring up clips to try to shit on him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just to navigate people in the other direction to keep from talking about what needs to be talked about. The fact that he's probably going to be the WBC champion after this fight.
Right. And I think Devin's gonna have to relinquish all his belts because he can't
eventually. Yeah, you can't just sit on him like that, and that goes for all the fighters. You don't sit on them. Just say you moving. Say, yo, man, I'm moving to 140, man. I'm not just gonna fight one guy here. I'm not gonna. I might come back down and defend my undisputed. Like, dude, you ain't gonna have an undisputed to really defend because your title's gonna be moving around. And then, how mixed up is that if you're a fighter in recess, a champion in recess?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that means that you get first dibs at your title if you come back down.
Yeah.
Is that what that means?
I guess so, man. But
and I'm just saying, like, so then how does that work?
Well, with these PBC fighters, I'm hoping they can find a home quickly because the way it's looking, it's just like they won't be after this year. They have to find some place or they won't be fighting. Some of them might be inactive even more.
Right. They're having the rumors this like on Netflix or Amazon or Prime.
But they don't got anything really concrete, like, oh, we're gonna give you a budget, something like this. They're like experimenting, really, from what I hear.
Yeah. Well, maybe it works out. As for like a unit, I'm not really a fan of any promotion anymore. I kind of fell into that for a minute with the Zone, and then the Zone started moving funny too. Eddie Hearn started defending some shit that I'm not a fan of. Fighters popping, and that ain't no different. So don't nobody, I'm not gonna change my energy because I like this guy. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that. I like to see the best fighters fight the best fighters. I could care less what they look like. I could care less who the fuck their promoter is. I could care less about any of that. I want to start getting back to talking about what the fuck goes on in that ring as to what's going on outside of that ring, because that ain't boxing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
that's where I feel like we finding ourselves go as fight fans. We always talking about that. A lot of this live was about how people moving, what's going on. But I'm trying to get to the heart and the root of the matter of where it's all coming from and who's pushing it and who's defending it. And it's getting away from being what it was. So
But for me, from what I've been witnessing, I think it's changing with the fighters that are not from America. If you come from a country like Australia that has a good economy and that can back boxing, and if you're a very good popular fighter, you can make some real money. I think that's what the Klitschko's did. They were in Germany and they were making big money out there, and people were supporting them because the economy could support boxing. But if you come from a third world country, of course you got to come to America. But I think that's changing. If you come from Australia, Germany,
oh yeah, it's moving around. And the fans are growing in other countries, and they're consistent, and they'll show up in America, show up in Mexico, show up in the UK, for other countries instead, and they showing face. That's why I was really bothered though about what Suleiman told Bivol to do. Reach out to me and pretty much denounce who you are, and I'll let you fight I'll sanction the fight for undisputed. I'm like, man, let Beterbiev and Bivol fight for 3 titles, and I'm gonna label them undisputed. You know what I'm saying? I don't need the WBC don't nobody give a fuck. I don't. I could care less. I'm gonna label them undisputed because you're a corrupt fucking sanctioning body, and
Yeah,
it just became. I don't know if you're running for Congress. You know what I mean?
yeah. It'd just be
It can
good to
be
get the. But I think the fight can happen next year. I think it'll happen. He just got to get past Callum Smith. But Callum Smith, he's
right.
looking really good at 175, and he's younger too.
And that's the thing is, I would like to see that happen. They said that might happen between June and July between Benavidez. I mean, not Benavidez, but Beterbiev and Bivol
Mhm.
after they both get their fight.
Mhm.
And then I also like to see Canelo take on the winner for the undisputed and defend his undisputed against the winner of Benavidez and Space Cadet and,
Yeah,
and Andre, because I feel like those are some interesting fights, and
right.
I'm tired of seeing sanctioning bodies and people building a wall around certain fighters. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
fans building a wall. We're gonna build a wall, and it's gonna protect this fighter. It's gonna protect my money, and you guys are gonna accept it or you don't. Whatever. It's like
Yeah,
fuck that shit. The fuck out of here with that bullshit. Stop
yeah. There's a lot of fighters I want
putting
to
up the
see.
roadblocks, man.
There's a
Stop
lot of
putting up
fighters I want to see. Hopefully, they fight next year. I want to see Venado versus Robesi. I want to see. Hopefully,
Robinson. Yeah.
I want to see Navarrete try to unify before it blows
Oh,
up.
that's
But
that's a Mexican cat that I really latch on to. That dude is like I don't know. He kind of got his own way of fighting, and it works. And he is wow. Even when he looks bad, he winds up looking good. Navarrete, oh man, I'm a fan of that guy. I would have liked to see him and Shakur fight. That would have been dope.
yeah, he could possibly that could happen next year if he wins against Conceição.
Yeah, and then I mean that's gonna make other people if that's gonna make other people look bad when guys like that are scrapping. You know what I'm saying? Because Navarrete is I like watching that guy, man. I like watching that guy. That guy could scrap, man. That dude is for real. He's the real deal. And sometimes he don't look good, but then that motherfucker just reaches in his bag and pulls some shit out of his ass. And it's just like, wow, like that. I love that, man. He makes adjustments and he just, yeah, that dude is dope. And of course, I'm a big Shakur fan. I like what he does, So yeah, man, that shit would be amazing. But we got some fights lined up. We're gonna see them fights, and we're gonna see these guys in some big fights. I don't think these dudes are too worried about it. Excuse me, too worried about each other. I think they'll get in the ring and they will fight if it comes to it. And I think that's what boxing needs. You know what I'm saying? It needs guys that are on the come up that ain't afraid to fight one another and ain't got walls around them to protect them for money or what have you. When you got guys like Navarrete and his following, and you have guys like Shakur, I like both of these fighters. I enjoy them. I don't give a fuck what they look like. I see them guys in the ring, and I'm just like, yo, those dudes are the real deal.
Yep. But
You know
now
what
it's
I mean?
gonna, Navarrete. This gonna be his third time fighting this year, which is good.
Yeah, and he's active. He's active too. So he's gonna put, you know what I mean? He's an active fighter. And like I said, man, he pulls it out of his ass, man. That motherfucker, he'll start looking a little rough in the beginning, make the proper adjustments, whip that ass. Shakur, make the proper adjustments, start spanking that. He's boring. Like bullshit. He in the pocket, not getting hit and piecing this dude up. You know what I mean? Navarrete throwing the uppercuts from Florida, from Mexico. You know what I'm saying? And they come in, you know what I mean? Just like wild ass hooks and shit. Like the guys that ain't accustomed to fighting like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like dealing with that type of energy and that type, like, man, yeah. So I'm a big fan of those guys. And I'm a big fan of Bivol as well. They're all good at what they do. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't afraid of shit. And I like that. I like those guys, man. And I think guys, everyone that's trying to push a narrative, these are the fighters you should be backing and you should be behind until they start moving funny. Because unfortunately, now once motherfuckers make the big time, they start moving funny, man. What's going on, Raider? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, that's what it is. But yeah, man, I'm about to cut this short. Do you got anything coming, Boxing Learner? Like, you got any content coming out or anything you want to talk about before I cut?
Yeah, I'm be talking about the 140-pound division, mostly about the
it's a lit division.
Pound division this week. I'm gonna have like videos.
It became a super interesting division because I mean, shit, you got Devin, you got Tio there. You're gonna have Ryan. I guess he's gonna be going.
Ryan's there. Yep.
Yep. And I'm sure Tank gonna stick his nose in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sabril Matias.
Yep.
And some of these other guys like that don't get talked a lot anymore. That were talked about, like Jose Ramirez.
Yep.
And I'm really be focusing on that guy. I think Barbosa deserves a shot at TFMO. I'm gonna talk about that this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. Why not? It shot at a lot of them fighters. So I mean, yeah, it is what it is, man. But we do got the Regis and Devin Haney fight. Not the fight I wanted. I wanted to see that. You know, I wanted to see Devin and Shakur. But yeah, I kind of felt like Devin moving a little funny, and I'm in the minority about that.
No, it's his dad. His dad moved kind of funny. He likes to get all these reporters on his side. You know, he likes the LWC. He likes to talk to those guys, make sure they're spinning his narrative.
Right. I'm not I'm like, as much as I was like Devin down. I'm like, yeah, nah, man. I don't know, man. Dude activates mandatory, and then you make moves, and you give him a shitty offer, and then say that you made 22%, which ain't true, and then saying that he wanted 50-50, which ain't true, and then saying he'll make 3 times more fighting you for 25%, which ain't true. It's like, and then saying you're gonna stay at 135 and fight him.
It ain't true.
It ain't true, right? I'm like, God, I'm not feeling none of that shit. I'm like, yo, I kind of felt like what Mosley had said resonated with me, because I was feeling the same way when that man was like,
you know, Shakur, he turned it down. How you feel about that situation?
Yeah, that means that he don't want to fight. You know, from 20%. Come on, man. Stop that. Stop it. You know what type of fighter he is. That means he don't want to fight. That's what you do when you don't want to fight somebody. Oh yeah, I'll give you, you know, let's say 65 or 60 or something like that. 65? No, it's 35, 65, or, you know, bring it up a little, like somewhere in the vicinity, almost half, because you know what type of quality fighter he is. You know he's a great fighter. You know he's good. You know, let's be fair, man. And then all they put this business stuff in front of the actual fight. No, they had to fight, and they did the sanctioned bodies and all that did to make them fight.
Facts. Well, I got to give it to the WBC. They tried to activate it, but he was gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, but I kind of roll with Mosley on that, because I'm like, come on, man. Oh, well, he was too big. He looked like a mummy. He looked like a mummy in every one of his fights at 135. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not a fan of it, man. And that's not a popular thing to say. You know, that's not a popular thing to say, but it is what it is. It is what it is, and I don't care. I'm gonna say it because that's my opinion on it, and I'm gonna say it because I'm not afraid to say the
because
shit.
I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. I don't have to find a hideout place like you.
Facts. Fuck out of here. Yo, man. Yo, I'm telling you, man. Yeah, shit. But yeah, I think 140 is gonna be dope, though. I think it's gonna be dope. Eventually, we might. Navarrete is a small guy, though, huh?
Yeah, I saw this fight with his this one guy he fought in February. That guy was bigger than him. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, he moved up to 130 or 135?
130, I think. This year. He just moved up this year.
He's a bad man, though. And he was having trouble at the beginning of the fight, and then just took over. Good fighters too. He's fighting.
Yep.
Good fighters. That's what I mean too about Shakur. I'm like, yo, man, look at his resume. His last 5 fights. I'm like, look, this dude's a 3-time world champion in 2 different weight classes. He ain't just a mandatory. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You offer him 25%. It's like Cambosa's offered you this. You had the WBC, but you got like 30%. But you pushing that, and that's facts. You could Google it. I'm not gonna research the shit. I'm not pulling up no receipts, man. If you gave a fuck, you'd look into it yourself before you start preaching about it and saying, well, he was offered this 50-50. He never asked for 50-50, and then he would have probably got to the WBC 30-35. Why wouldn't I go that route if I was competing? Why would I want to take 25% when I could get 35% and get it mandated?
Right.
And then when I go to mandate it, now you drop your belt. You're champion in recess. I pick up your belt and you have to fight me to get it, but something tells me you're not coming back down to 135. And stop pretending that you are. That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. When I seen Shakur and Benavidez lose they titles on the scale, I said, damn, that's fucked up. Damn, that ain't a good move. That's fucked up. You know what I mean? But when Shakur did it, he said, what? Oh, I'm moving up. He didn't say I'm sticking around at 130. He said I'm moving up. He didn't tease to fight anybody at 130. He just left. He didn't hold up the game. You know, he didn't leave that. He didn't try to leave the back and forth and shit and saying, oh, blah, 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 da, 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 da. But if you ain't gonna fight me, then go ahead. Just tend to your business. But say what it is. Just say, look, man, we'll fight eventually. Which Devin Haney always finishes off with. We'll eventually be on a collision course at 140 or 147. Just say that. Don't sit there and say, I'll fight him. Oh, he ducked me. It's like, come on, man. He activated a mandatory. He activated a mandatory, and everyone wants to skip over that point and say, well, he should have just took it. You know, it's just like, nah, man. Nah, that's not cool. But I'm not a fan of that. You know, and I'm also not a fan of what they're doing with Bivol. And not giving Beterbiev and Bivol or Bivol a shot at Undisputed. I feel like that's bullshit too.
Yeah, but hopefully, I think that's a fight. I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, because if a guy beats the WBC champion or the WBC champion defends the WBC championship or he defends it, whether it's sanctioned or not, to me, you still the WBC champ. Whether or not the sanctioning body wants to allow it or not. And I just like how motherfuckers is cool with it. How they just going to let Suleiman say, yo, man, denounce who you are and I might give you a shot at your dreams. Fuck that. I would have said, fuck off. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking him for being who he is. I'm not knocking a guy if he's just fucking Mexican or if he's Russian or he's American. You let a motherfucker tell you, well, denounce who the fuck you are, and I might, maybe, just plead to me that you don't want to state your case that you don't want to be who you are. Fuck out of here. You're kidding me, right? What kind of shit is that? Like, that to me is some lowball shit. You just don't want that man to be undisputed at 175 or 168. And you don't want to lose that sanctioning fee. That's why you don't want him. You have to make it at 175 too, to make it look like it's real. Like you got a stance on it.
Right.
I just don't buy it. I'm not buying it. And it was very convenient. And the same with him allowing fucking dude to like. Ngannou and I don't even know. I don't even care at this point.
Yeah, as long as they can get the fight done, which I think they will. I think they'll get it done. I think there's enough demand, especially with them both being in that Saudi Arabia. You know, it helped them facing off. That helped. That definitely helped.
Right. And even if Beterbiev loses that fight, you got to fight one of those guys to be considered, and he just throws the WBC to somebody else, or if he maintains that WBC championship, well then you're granting the fight to a loser. You know what I'm saying? That'll tell you everything. Or if you just move that title around, that whoever that gets that title ain't a champion. You know what I'm saying? Keep the same energy, because that motherfucker ain't the champ. This dude beat the champ, or if the champ defended his title, that's different. If Beterbiev sleeps Bivol, which is probably the only way he'll win, and if Bivol outboxes Beterbiev, which a lot of people might think is the only way he can win, but I don't. Yeah, but I tell you, that fight in itself is a hell of a fight. Like, cause Bivol can't make no mistakes.
Yeah.
He can't relax for a second in that ring. Not for a second, because you know what I've noticed about Beterbiev? Not only is he heavy-handed, not only does he cut off the ring well, not only does he not load up on his shots, that dude waits for you to, you know how a fighter, you're accustomed when you're fighting and you fight so many fights, you know when the ref's going to come in and say break, or you kind of let go of each other and you tap gloves, like the unspoken rule of, oh, I hit you low, what have you, whatever. Beterbiev takes advantage of that moment. He'll punch you right then.
Yeah.
And I get it, protect yourself at all times, but he'll punch you. And if you're going down, he'll punch you too. If you're on the ground, he'll punch you.
Yeah.
So
but
you
you know what?
on
One
the
thing
ground.
I like about Bivol is that he doesn't really clinch a lot. That's the difference between him and a lot of these other pure boxers. He don't really clinch a lot. Even against Canelo, didn't clinch. Zerto didn't really clinch a whole lot. It's always these other guys that are clinching him.
Yeah, but Canelo is sharp in spurts. So you can relax every once in a while if you're getting the better of him. Sometimes you can relax because he got to reset. Beterbiev, he waits for you to relax. And, but I think that Canelo could set you up better, but Beterbiev, he waits for you to take a break. You know what I'm saying? He waits for you to go, we're going through the motions. And that's when he clocks you. Yeah, I've seen him clock people on breaks where the guy was like, break, and he just cracked him. Bang! Behind the head. So I mean, he got them same what is it? Is it Ruiz? Where he hooks behind the ear?
Yeah.
Yeah. His delivery is like that. Watch when he hurts or stops guys. He does it when you don't, like, the one you don't see. I get it, the one you don't see, but the timing is awful. It's like, yo, you watch a lot of his fights. I'm not saying, I don't know if it was any of the recent ones, but he catches you when you're just relaxing.
Right.
Which is a game in the game, and I get it. Protect yourself at all times, but damn. But damn. And that's the wrong motherfucker to be getting hit by it too, man.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
He's gonna have to be on his A game the whole night.
Subriel Matias is like a less better version than him.
Yeah.
Because he also doesnn't load up. He throws a lot of punches. Heavy-handed.
Yeah, real heavy-handed, where he ain't got to load up on a shot and just let it go from the hip, and just let it go from right there, and it affects you immediately. I think Bivol said that shit about him when they were talking about him and Canelo. He was like, well, Canelo has to load up to generate that power. You know what I'm saying? And he does it quickly, and he sets it up. But this dude, right from the hip, bow. That's dangerous, man. The heavy-handed guys, they ain't got to load up for you to feel it. And but yeah,
there aren't too many guys like that. There aren't too many guys. something like that.
Nah. Okay. Did you see when they pulled up on each other?
Mhm.
Fucking I think at the fight they were both at the one fight there in was it Saudi Arabia when they had Bivol and Beterbiev do the
The face
standoff.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, the face off. And he was like, yeah, every time he says he wants to fight, but he never fights. And Bivol was like, looks like he fights a lot. Because all of that scar tissue he had on him. I was like, yeah, I don't know. And then Bivol followed him. You know what I'm saying? He kind of followed after him and shit after he was talking shit. And I was like, you know, if you read it between the lines, you would think on the high side, oh, you know, Beterbiev got the better of that. But I'm like, nah, man.
That shit don't. Yeah, with guys like Bivol, you can't read into stuff like that.
Right. I'm like, no, man.
They're not from our culture. They don't react. Because they react to certain ways. A certain way doesn't mean that they're scared or. That's the American way of thinking. Around the world, it don't really mean that.
It don't even mean that, yo. But that just kind of hyped me for the fight.
Yeah, but it does hype the fight for us Americans.
And I want to see that Beterbiev fight coming up.
Oh, him versus Callum Smith, former Canelo.
Smith has been looking really good at 175.
He should have been at 175, but he's still him and that's the only reason why Billy Joe was sticking around to get that Canelo fight.
Yeah, I had been somewhat became a fan of Zerto, because I always kind of liked his style of fighting, but I just didn't like how people was throwing him like, oh, Bivol's ducking him, and I remember all that shit, and I was like, that's bullshit. And then it was just like, and then also that he was so much smaller than Bivol, and I'm like, this dude is massive, and then it all played out. Where how big he is now, because ain't he fighting that cruiser now? Or
he missed weight though. He tried to fight at 175. He missed weight by like 20 pounds.
Yeah, I think he was going to be fighting
Rosado.
That's awful. Crazy. That's crazy. But I do like him as a fighter. I think that he sets things up. I think he's a good boxer. And you see what he beat the shit out of dude.
Yeah, I want to see him. That guy, he's some good fights. He's great. He's a great fighter.
Right, but I just feel like cruiserweight, ain't a lot of names there.
No, but him being there helps. You know.
Him being there. I would have liked him to see him make 175. It would have made some more interesting fights. Because that's basically who he fought, a 175-pounder up there, and Joe Smith, and he just pieced Joe Smith up.
Yeah,
but I'd like to see him at 170. I would have liked to seen him and actually Beterbiev fight.
Yeah, 175. One cruiserweight used to suck until finally Okolie got beat, and now things are better. It's the champions. You know the guy that Canelo was supposed to fight at cruiserweight, that Makabu guy. He just got knocked out again because what's his name? Ripper. He relinquished his title, so he's not fighting at cruiserweight no more. Badu Jack.
Yeah.
And him, Aluma Makabu, and this Armenian guy just fought, and the Armenian guy knocked him out in 3 rounds. So there's a whole new set of champions at cruiserweight. So I would like to see Zerto against all these guys.
Yeah, I like to see him, man. I think he's a fun fighter to watch. He got a good chin. He puts punches together, and I just feel like
not as fast. He's not as fast as Bivol, but he can.
But his timing was on in that fight. Even Bivol said he's got good timing. And so I mean he's fun to watch. I also, man, I haven't heard anything about McBilly either. That's another fighter I enjoy watching.
Oh yeah, he's coming back. He's coming back. January. He's fighting under the Archer Beterbiev card.
He ain't too defensively responsible, but man,
he's explosive.
Offensively, he is fun, and he's so tiny.
That's who I want to see. That guy, the Cuban guy, fight Morrell. I want to see him fight Billy.
Oh, with Billy.
Yeah,
I think Billy have some issues with, because I think Morrell, he has like a style like Andre, but naturally bigger.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So like his performances at 168 were like Andre's performances at 154. If that makes sense.
I think he's a little bit more offensive, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Andre was at that time too at 154.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's his natural weight though, and he's young.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think he'll give and Billy a lot of problems. But and Billy is gonna apply a lot of pressure and can explode on the inside. But Morrell, if he sticks to his guns, he still got to prove himself. But he can give guys a lot of issues. He might wind up being an avoided fighter if he just keeps winning.
Yeah, but you know, he's talking about, you know, Benavidez, non-tribe. I think Benavidez should have already got the Canelo fight, but you know, he can't. I don't think he shouldn't take a step back. That's a step back. I think fighting Demetrius is a very good fight, and it's a step in the right direction. You know, fighting two former champs in 1 year.
Yeah. I also feel like, I would like to see Billy at 168 versus not for the boxing, but just for the matchup, like a Canelo. Two explosive guys, one guy a counter puncher that can explode with counter punches.
Yeah.
And one dude that can just explode on the inside. Their height is about the same. Their build is about the same. They're both explosive. I think Canelo pulls it off, but just a fun fight to watch.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
think Canelo's going to be around for much longer, man. I see a lot of young super middleweights coming up, Russian super middleweights, from all over the place. I see a lot of young super middleweights coming up, man. German Canadian super middleweights. I don't think he want to defend his title against all those guys. He's either going to start dropping belts, or he's gonna he's gonna fight. Probably have another weight class, create 170 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot of young guys coming up, and some of them are already highly ranked.
Yeah, that's a fact. Oh, well, I got to get going, my man. Yo, thanks for coming, man. Always a pleasure, Boxing Learner. Thanks everybody to come through. Boxing Lounge, Haplotype, Raider, Modern King Boxing, the whole team, man. I shout all y'all out, man. Thanks for listening. Bruce Gas, Toby Bartlett, the whole team. But I'm about to head out, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for coming through, man. I appreciate it, bro.
All right, peace.
Peace.